Going into this
Wow.
room, listening to
Wow.
the doctor tell me that this is not reversible, that's when I came to
Mm,
that realization that what I believe God would do, he hadn't done. And so
yeah.
it put me in that space like my pastor used to always tell us, God ain't gonna tell nobody else something about you before he tell you. And so I'm like, wait a minute, this don't match. You said God would bring it to me first. And so it's like
mm,
maybe he did
mm.
and you just didn't receive it. And I'm like, no, he didn't tell me this, not this. And so it was
Right.
hard. And so I sat with my baby and I talked to him, talked to God with my angry voice, telling him, like,
Yeah.
you let me down. You didn't honor your word. This is not how this
Mm-hmm.
story was supposed to end. And so
Right.
even
Right.
in that time, once I realized that this was totally out of my hand, that God was not going to
Mm-hmm.
reverse this, that's when I think I turned into the spiritual man because I didn't want to face the hurt. I had got a
Okay.
glimpse of it. When I first seen him laying there, I got that real ache. I ain't like how heavy that felt. So I flipped on my
Mm,
spiritual man. Where some
mm.
people just flow in that, I blocked out of that. And I think it was because I had
Wow.
been in this space two times before. It just wasn't with my child. In 2014,
Okay.
my cousin was killed by the police. Um,
Mm.
so that was a big
Oh. Oh. You talk about
Laquan McDonald.
Darian,
Yep,
Laquan McDonald. Laquan McDonald. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my
Yep.
cousin.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
so my family had went through
Well,
that trauma. And then in
yeah. I'm gonna.
2015, another one of my cousins was shot outside of our salon when we were on 13th and Pulaski. And
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
so those were two instances where I was up close and personal and right there with these moms helping them process this. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they were kind of like introductions to what I was going to have to
Oh.
experience because I was there
Yeah.
when we first got the images. We were told one thing
Mm.
about my cousin Laquan McDonald, but then when someone got us the images of how he really looked, it was totally not so. So to see those
Mm.
images, I was like unbelievable. My
Wow.
cousin that was shot
Yeah.
outside the salon, I sat there with him on the ground until the fire truck got there. So I had experienced
Man.
all these up close and personal moments that I didn't get to share with my son because I didn't see him on the ground at Franklin. By the time, I was out the house, the truck was already taking him to the hospital. So when I got to see
Wow.
BJ, he was in the emergency room being prepared to be worked on. And so
Wow.
I just jumped into that spirit man trying to block out the real hurt and pain of that. And I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
actually started feeling the real effects of what happened until after court was over.